Okay, we've made excellent progress so far. In this lesson, we will import data from a CSV file in Python. Before doing that, think of the famous principle, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. Actually, you might have heard this phrase expressed in different ways, and you know it has multiple applications in life. The following explains how it relates to coding in Python, which is what we really care about here. My point is to dare and use a piece of code that you think could potentially solve a certain task, and then check whether or not it delivers the desired output. If it doesn't, inspect carefully whatever leads to the undesired output, or perhaps even an error message. And indeed, it is the fastest way to learn a new programming language, or even a new package. So, the point is that it is better to use this approach instead of spending too much time overthinking or researching the exact code you need. It is not always possible to suddenly discover the right syntax to apply in a given situation. Of course, this doesn't exclude the option to look up potential solutions to the errors you've encountered on the internet. In spite of that, remember that it is perfectly fine to constantly make coding mistakes and then look for solutions online. This approach can save you an enormous amount of time, and it will still improve your coding skills. That said, let's try to import the lending company CSV file by using the Python built-in open function. As we execute this cell, we see nothing like information presented in a tabular form, something that a CSV is inherently supposed to represent. Instead, we obtain a massive piece of text, where the values have been separated by a comma. It is also unclear where a new line begins. To prove the obtained output is just a string as opposed to an object that can represent data in tabular form, we can check the type of the text variable. See? So, what can we do to organize the same data set as a table? Probably, there is a way to achieve this with the built-in open function. However, it wouldn't work as well as a certain data import tool that has become today's go-to choice of professionals, the pandas read CSV method. To use it, we must import the pandas module first. As we are doing that, we'll use the conventional alias PD, of course. Then, consider that the pd.readCSV goes through two steps. First, it will implicitly create a data frame for us. The same would have happened if we had explicitly called the pandas DataFrame constructor method to create a data frame. Second, the readCSV method will take care of the values that will be provided to that object. Where will they come from? From the file, we designate within the parentheses following what we just typed. We will use the CSV file called lending company. As you probably remember, we've stored it in the same folder as the Jupyter document we are currently working on. So we will either have to type the entire name lending-company.csv within quotes and within parentheses, or we can speed this up by taking advantage of the Jupyter auto-completion feature. You may also encounter it as a tab completion feature. Here's how it works. Once you've called the method and open parentheses, type a single quote and the first few letters, say capital L, E, and N. If there was only one text file starting with these characters at the moment of coding in that folder, pressing the tab button would have completed the file's name straight away. Since we have two files starting with capital L, E, and N, pressing the tab button will open a drop-down list for us. As we press this button, we see that this list contains the names of the files stored in the same folder as the Jupyter Notebook document you're currently working on. This folder is referred to as your working directory. This neat trick will not only save you time while coding, but will also allow you to see what text files you have in your working directory. Without further ado, let's select the CSV file we need, which is lending company CSV, and press enter. Perfect! For the moment, that's enough about this Jupyter feature. Let's go back to the subject of importing data through the readCSV method. Now that we've specified the file name correctly, we are ready to execute this cell to obtain the desired table. Bingo! Since we obtained a well-organized data table, we can safely assume that Python has read the content of the lending company file. Not only that, it has also parsed its data in a certain way. As you can observe from the relevant page in the pandas documentation, there are plenty of parameters associated with the readCSV method. They all contribute to our specification of how we would like to parse that data. To obtain the same information from Jupyter, place your cursor between the parentheses in this code cell, hold Shift, and press Tab 4 times. In our example, we haven't used any of the displayed parameters. This means that the default parser has been applied. The latter is a term that stands for the default values for all parameters of this method. Great! Now, let's close our reference to the documentation and paste the last expression we used as an argument of the type function. We do this to verify that our file object is indeed a pandas data frame. Is it so? 100%. Good! In this lecture, you learned how to import data from a CSV file into a pandas data frame by using the readCSV method. In the next one, we will work on how to interpret the obtained output by examining the contents of the data frame. Thank you for watching.